Hello and welcome to a very snowy edition of Corner Office. I'm Dan Guindon alongside Mayor Arthur Vigeant. Mayor, how are you?
Fantastic.
Great.
You know, we did a show out at the beach this summer. We should have done it outside today.
It's unbelievable how much snow we've had here, and that's actually what we want to talk about today. We want to start talking about basically snow protocol.
Yeah.
So I don't know where you want to start. There's so many to.
No, first of all,
go.
I'd like to congratulate John Galoni and the DPW. They've done a fantastic job of keeping the roads cleared with 6 feet of snow in the last 2.5 weeks now, and more to come. It's just been unbelievable. We did lose a building down there yesterday.
Yeah, I heard.
A small storage shed, so no one was hurt.
That's good.
It was one of the older sheds, but he's actually going through the other city buildings to see what else we need to take a look at to protect the people going in and out of them. So, but they've done a great job. They really have. And the only thing I would say is, for people out there, be a little patient.
Yeah.
It's difficult. You get your driveway shoveled and the plow guy comes by and fills the end of it again. It can be frustrating.
Yeah.
There's been many times that residents have called and complained about different things, and sometimes we can correct them. Sometimes it's just one of those things you have to live with when there's a lot of snow. But they've done a real good job. They're out there day and night, sanding and salting and cleaning, and when they're done that, they go onto the sidewalks and the parking decks and the parking areas. So, but also with the fire hydrants, residents need to try to help us out with that. The fire department have been out there. We lost one of the manufactured homes last week, and not much the fire department could do. They go pretty quickly, but to protect your neighborhood, you really need to try to clear out that fire hydrant so they do have access.
Right.
So.
And that's another thing where if you clear it out, the plows come by and maybe get a little more mess in there, but what are they supposed to do with it?
Right. No, it's been a difficult time with all this stuff.
Yeah.
Students, the kids going to school, bus stops obviously aren't where they were a few months ago when there was no snow. Make sure the kids are safe. Keep them off the street, keep them in a nearby driveway, so they're off the area. The DPW is clearing the sidewalks the best they can, as quickly as they can, so we can get people in there. And everyone's got to work together. We're all in this together.
Yeah, and it would help too, especially if you've got a snowblower at home. If you've got a sidewalk in front of your house, just do from one side of your property to the other. It would be very helpful.
Well, the state law says you're supposed to shovel in front of your property if there's a sidewalk. Obviously, not many people do it.
Yeah.
It's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
We have had a couple people call up and say everyone should be fined if they don't shovel in front of their place, and obviously we make a ton of money because not many people do. I mean,
Right.
it's difficult.
Yeah.
But it's state law that says you are required to do that. But so we encourage that, but we also want people to be careful because shoveling causes it's the number one area for heart attacks. And but the thing we didn't touch on is those ice dams that are out there on the houses, so be careful in addressing those. Try to pull the snow down off the edge, go up 4 or 5 feet, pull the snow down, but with the ladders and people up on the roofs, just be very careful.
Yeah, I saw a guy on the roof and I was just thinking that's not really a good idea,
Yeah.
but I know that snow blowers and those roof rakes are hard to find right now. Stores can't keep them in stock.
No, it's a tough time out there. It really is. It all came at once. We were getting through the winter without much of a headache, and but we'll make it through. We've made it through before.
Yeah.
Although we're setting records left and right, but we've made it through before. We'll make it through again.
I feel like we've upset somebody. I think something's gone wrong.
Yeah, well, it's global warming, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Exactly. What about the trash barrels, too?
Trash barrels, it's another difficult situation where we're still doing trash pickup, obviously.
Yeah.
We have put it off a couple of times over the last few weeks. We try to do a robocall to notify people. Get your trash barrels out there as late as possible, you know, so they're not sticking out there. But the night before trash pickup day, which is usually Friday, get them out there Thursday night and get them pulled back as soon as possible after they're picked up, you know, because if we do follow up with snow like this week, we'll be following up with snow. You're going to lose your barrels, and you know, you're going to end up with a barrel all over your front yard with all your trash. So get them out there so the people can pick them up. Waste Management and Allied can come by and pick them up, and then make sure that you pull them out as soon as they're emptied. So.
And then if we haven't covered anything here, the city website does have information bullet pointed, right?
And again, it's important to keep in mind, obviously we have the 911. If there's an emergency, call 911. You know, but also, you know, don't call because the plow filled in your driveway. But if there's a real emergency, we definitely need to get the people, the police, the fire, the emergency response team, the ambulance company, Patriot Ambulance. We want to make sure we get them down there. Right. Last thing we didn't touch is smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in your houses. Make sure you got batteries working in those. We've been fortunate we haven't had any issues in the city with those, but with all the snow, it's covering up the exhaust for you know, gas furnaces or your regular furnaces. Make sure they stay cleared out, but carbon monoxide is obviously a big concern. Make sure they're working properly, and you keep a flashlight or two in the house that's working. So.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I guess the one positive thing about all the snow we've received lately is we're that much closer to spring. If this had happened in December or January, you and I wouldn't be sitting here smiling. We'd be miserable.
Well, I saw on Fox News this morning they were packing up the Red Sox trucks to go down to Florida.
There we go.
They're packing them up today and they're leaving town.
That's a sure sign. Let's talk about the City Council meeting on the 9th, this past Monday from when we're taping. You gave your state of the city to the City Council, so why don't you talk about that a little bit?
No, it was great. President Pope asked me to come down and address the council. I was more than happy to do that. Everyone's been working so great together, you know, between the schools and our boards and commissions and the City Council and myself. We've all been kind of going in the same direction. And the council's been great with all the projects we've had. I've gone down with a lot of requests for a lot of different things, and they ask a lot of questions. They get to the bottom of things, but when all is said and done, we're all on the same page and trying to move the city forward. So it was really recognizing a lot of the work that we've done together, bringing some great companies to the city. GE Healthcare is starting their renovations. SanDisk is already open in the city. Those were really the big accomplishments for this year. We're moving forward now for doing our fields projects. They approved, the Finance Committee approved the first synthetic field in the city. Yeah. So we're kind of excited about that. In back of the Whitcomb School, we're going to be doing that project. Don't know if we're going to make it at this point for the spring, but if not, we'll be getting it out to bid right away, and hopefully they can line us up for the fall. So be ready to use this year, late in the year. And also taking a look at the old landfill site. We're working with some of the business partners, Boston Scientific, to see if we can do something together to build a couple fields up there. The state kicked in $400,000 toward the project, so we're seeing if we can do something to expand the number of fields we have in the city. But again, this will be funded through the meals tax, the local option meals tax that was sponsored by President Pope and Councilor Delano. It was done by the council. So we'll be taking all that money, and that will be paying for these field projects. We should be bringing in $750,000 to $800,000 a year just for fields and facilities. So recreation areas for all the residents and the kids.
That's good. Now, The new senior center has all this snow that we talked about earlier. Has that slowed things down there at all? Or?
It's covered right now. But they actually just sent over the final punch list, asked what else they needed to do to actually turn the keys over to the city. Bob Camacho, the building commissioner, sent over his response that, you know, the checklist of what we need to do to get finished up. I believe they're over there polishing up the floors, actually.
Nice.
So we're pretty close.
Good.
Hopefully in the next week or so, we get the keys and it's our building. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
Furniture's on order. So in the next few weeks, you'll see some big changes over there.
Yeah.
And we're working on that ribbon cutting and grand opening for all the residents to come down and take a look at it.
Yeah.
It's their building, and we want to make sure they're utilizing it.
Yeah. How have the seniors been reacting as we get closer and closer?
They're a little anxious.
Yeah.
You know, they've booked last Thanksgiving there. They've booked last Christmas there. They've booked the last 3 or 4 parties there. And I keep telling Jen, that's great, but it's not open yet. You know, and it's going to take a while before, you know, we can start booking things, events and things there. I want to make sure that the furniture's set up, the computers are working, the kitchen's working well, you know, the thing's ready to go. I don't want to have an event too early and find out that, you know, we stumbled a couple times. And so we'll have a couple small things there. We'll get the lights turned on, get the heat working, and get the fireplace over there cranked up.
Yeah,
so we got a fireplace over there. It's just a phenomenal building. It really is.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely want to have all your T's crossed and your I's dotted because you don't want the told you so's coming out of the woodwork.
You know, but at this point, everyone's on board, and it's a great project. The seniors deserve it. Although, you know, I do want to throw out there, you know, we're talking about, someone asked me the other day that, you know, what are we planning on doing for the younger seniors? And because they go to different senior centers to utilize some of the programs they have for the people 60, 65, 70 that, you know, still want to utilize the center. And we are going to have programs for the younger seniors in the city, like myself.
Yeah. I'm not touching that one. Well, Mayor, thank you very much for your time again, as usual.
Well, next time we talk, the senior center will be open.
Yeah.
Snow will still be falling.
Yeah. Most of it will be gone, but there'll still be some.
Yeah, no, we'll have quite a bit. But you know, it's been a long winter, and it's great to be here. Thank you.
Yeah. And folks at home, like the mayor said, the equipment truck left Fenway Park, so it's coming. Spring is coming. Hang in there. For Mayor Arthur Vigeant, I'm Dan Guindon. We'll see you next time on Corner Office.